Chapter 1719. This old man is the son of the Qin Emperor. To be able to follow this old man is your great fortune. Emperor Hong smiled proudly and formed a seal with both hands. Soon, a blood-colored mark appeared. This was the blood soul technique. The blood soul technique was not a rare secret technique. As the former emperor of Great Qin and the son of the Qin Emperor, it was not strange for him to know the cultivation method of the blood soul technique. The son of the Qin Emperor. At the same time, hearing Emperor Hong's words, Wu Jiao's eyes flashed with a hint of suspicion. Why does this name sound so familiar? Suddenly, its eyes trembled, and it said in surprise, "The Qin Emperor you are talking about, is it Qin Batian?" Emperor Hong was taken aback for a moment and said in surprise, "I didn't expect that a mere beast like you actually knows the name of my late father." Wu Jiao said, "You are the son of the Qin Emperor, then who is Qin Feiyang to you? And how do you know Qin Feiyang? Could it be that he has entered the second level?" Emperor Hong frowned. "That's right." At this time, a cold voice sounded. Not far away in the void, Qin Feiyang and Yu Huang appeared out of thin air with the castle. Emperor Hong immediately raised his eyebrows. "Yu Huang, shatter the Emperor Divine Prison for me." Qin Feiyang shouted, his face incomparably cold. "Yes." Baiming Yu Huang laughed. She immediately brought the ancient castle and entered the divine prison. With a loud bang, the Emperor Divine Prison shattered on the spot. After escaping, Wu Jiao quickly retreated to Qin Feiyang's side. Emperor Hong was so angry that he glared and shouted, "You evil creature, in front of this old man, you dare to be presumptuous." "Evil creature," Qin Feiyang murmured. In his eyes there was a fierce light. "You actually dare to scold Boss Qin, old bastard. Are you looking for death?" Baiming Yu Huang was enraged. She brought the ancient castle and rushed towards the clear emperor. "Even your master doesn't dare to do anything to this old man. Who do you think you are?" Emperor Hong snorted coldly. The five-clawed golden dragon under his feet opened its wide mouth and rushed towards Yu Huang. "Who am I? You'll know soon enough." Yu Huang cackled, and the ancient castle flew towards the five-clawed golden dragon. With a loud wail, the five-clawed golden dragon dissipated. Immediately after, the ancient castle streaked across the sky, slamming into Emperor Hong's chest. Puff! Emperor Hong immediately spat out a mouthful of old blood. Like a meteor, he flew out horizontally, his old face pale. His chest had caved in and was badly mutilated. This was under the condition that Yu Huang showed mercy. If it didn't hold back and revive the castle, this instant would be enough to shatter Emperor Hong's bones. "Do you still dare to scold Boss Qin?" Yu Huang recalled the ancient castle, looked coldly at Emperor Hong and said. Emperor Hong's face darkened. After stabilizing his body, he ignored Yu Huang and looked directly at Qin Feiyang. He angrily rebuked. "Condoning your own subordinate to attack your great-grandfather, aren't you afraid of being punished by the heavens?" "What? This man is Qin Feiyang's great-grandfather." Wu Jiao was stunned. "Great-grandfather? Heavenly moat." Qin Feiyang muttered to himself and sneered. "To be honest, I have never admired a person as much as I admire you. If it was me, I would never say such a thing, but you can say it so matter-of-factly. I want to ask you, where is your face?" Emperor Hong's 10 fingers clenched tightly together. "Also, Yu Huang is not my subordinate, and I am not his master. We are brothers, friends. Even though you are my relative, I will not allow you to humiliate him." Qin Feiyang said again. "Hee," calling a ferocious beast brother, yet not acknowledging his own great-grandfather. "The rumors of the world are indeed true. You are an unrighteous, unfaithful, and unrighteous beast." Emperor Hong sneered again and again. "I am unrighteous. I am unfaithful and unrighteous." Qin Feiyang raised his head and laughed out loud. He wasn't laughing at Emperor Hong. He was laughing at himself. After paying so much, what he got in return was unrighteous, unfaithful, and unfilial? Boom! All of a sudden, a monstrous divine might roared out from his body. Pseudo-god. Emperor Hong's pupil shrank. "That's right. You all want me to die. But not only did I not die, but I also broke through to the pseudo-god realm. So the heavens are fair. Although it has made me lose a lot, it has also made me gain a lot. As for you, Hand over the tree of good fortune immediately and get out of my sight. Qin Feiyang shouted. You. Emperor Hong glared at him. Qin Feiyang's eyes turned cold, and he said word by word. I don't want to say it a second time. If you want the tree of good fortune, come and get it yourself. This old man wants to see if you have the ability to do so. Emperor Hong didn't compromise at all. As you wish. Qin Feiyang soared into the air. When he brushed shoulders with Baiming Yuang, he grabbed the ancient castle and rushed towards the clear emperor. You think you can do whatever you want after breaking through to the pseudo-god realm? Let me tell you, don't be too naive. Emperor Hong shouted angrily, his aura surging as he slammed his palm into the air. Boom! A wave of divine power emerged, turning into a huge wave, carrying a shocking killing intent as it rushed towards Qin Feiyang. It's you who is naive. Killing you is as easy as turning my hand. Just now, if it weren't for my face, Yu Huang would have already ended your old life. Qin Feiyang's eyes were cold to the extreme. 3 kinds of pseudo-god power poured out and poured into the castle. Clang! The ancient castle's divine power erupted like a volcano. He didn't retreat at all and directly faced it head-on. The ancient castle attacked. Boom! Emperor Hong's divine power instantly disintegrated. However, the impact of the collision between the ancient castle and the divine power also made his body tremble violently, and purple gold dragon blood spurted out wildly. But he didn't take a step back. Unfolding the walk character, he appeared behind Emperor Hong in an instant, holding the ancient castle, and smashed it towards Emperor Hong's head. What? So fast? Emperor Hong was shocked, and without hesitation, he controlled the battle sword and slashed towards the ancient castle. Seeing this, Qin Feiyang's eyes were full of ridicule. Opening the armor, he grabbed the battle sword. Clang! The armor and the battle sword rubbed against each other, creating dazzling sparks. Even Qin Feiyang could clearly feel that the armor on his palm had been cut open by the battle sword. This meant that the level of the battle sword was indeed higher than the armor. Thank you for your gift. I will accept it. Qin Feiyang smiled coldly and directly put the battle sword into the castle. Damn it! As soon as the battle sword entered the castle, Emperor Hong lost contact with the battle sword. This made him both shocked and angry. At the same time, Qin Feiyang stepped out of the walk character again and appeared in front of Emperor Hong. Raising his hand, he slapped Emperor Hong's face fiercely. A blood-red palm print suddenly emerged. A trace of divine blood overflowed from the corner of Emperor Hong's mouth. He touched his red and swollen face, looked at Qin Feiyang in disbelief, and said, You actually dare to slap this old man? Qin Feiyang took a few steps back and said indifferently, This slap is for my ancestor. To have a son like you for my ancestor is a very sad thing. Shut up, you disgraceful beast. The name of my late father is a humiliation from your mouth. Emperor Hong roared. Whatever you say, I'm too lazy to bother with you. No, to be exact, I disdain to bother with people like you. Hand over the tree of good fortune immediately, and I'll spare your life. Qin Feiyang said. If you have the ability, then kill me. Let's see how the world will curse you. Emperor Hong shouted. Do you think I care about this? Do you really think I don't dare to make a move against you? Qin Feiyang was so angry that he laughed, took out the Phoenix Divine Blade, and slashed out like lightning. Emperor Hong did not expect that Qin Feiyang really dared to make a move. In a panic, he hurriedly dodged to the side. Kacha! With one slash, blood splashed into the sky. An arm was chopped off. Qin Feiyang sneered and said, Aren't you not afraid of death? What are you hiding for? Emperor Hong's face was gloomy. He took out the tree of good fortune and threw it to Qin Feiyang, saying, One day, you will be punished by the heavens. Just you wait. I'll wait. Qin Feiyang said indifferently. Emperor Hong gave Qin Feiyang a dark look, then turned around and left dejectedly. Yu Huang and Wu Jiao rushed to Qin Feiyang's side, looked at Emperor Hong's back, and then looked at Qin Feiyang. Just what was the relationship between these two people? Why was it so hard to understand? A moment later, Qin Feiyang let out a long sigh, retracted his gaze, turned his head to look at Wu Jiao suspiciously, and said, How do you know me? Wu Jiao hurriedly said, It's what Lord Guardian said. Brother Hua. Qin Feiyang was taken aback. He's actually brothers with Lord Guardian? Wu Jiao's heart trembled, and his expression became even more respectful as he said, "Some time ago, Lord Guardian personally issued an order. The Beast Emperor on the second floor, no matter who sees you, is not allowed to make things difficult for you or hurt you. So that's how it is." Qin Feiyang came to a realization and said with a smile, "Then wouldn't I be able to run amok on the second floor now?" Wu Jiao was stunned, and said with a wry smile, "Although these words sound uncomfortable, it's also the truth. This fire python is really good to you. With this order, it will be much more convenient for us to do things on the second floor in the future." Yu Huang thought to himself, "Yeah, in the past, I was still worried that when it found out that its father was related to me, it would find trouble with me. But now, it has already become a guardian, and its methods can be said to be heaven-defying. However, not only did it not make things difficult for me, it even helped me in every way. From this point, it shows that you beasts are indeed easier to get along with than some humans." Qin Feiyang sighed. Wu Jiao was slightly taken aback, and said to Yu Huang through voice transmission, "Is Qin Feiyang not having a good time in the human world? Aren't you asking the obvious? Look at how his great-grandfather treats him, let alone other humans." Yu Huang thought to himself, "Why is that? Although I just met him and know nothing about him, to be able to call Lord Guardian brother is enough to show that his character is definitely not a problem." Wu Jiao was puzzled. "I'm not sure either." Yu Huang thought to himself. Wu Jiao pondered for a while, and suddenly seemed to have thought of something. Looking at Yu Huang and Qin Feiyang, he asked, "The movement over there just now, was it caused by you two?" This, Qin Feiyang and Yu Huang looked quite embarrassed. "It's really you two." Wu Jiao shook his head helplessly and said, "If you want the tree of creation, just say it. For the sake of Lord Guardian, I'll give it to you. Why do you have to come up with so many tricks? Isn't it boring?" Qin Feiyang and Yu Huang smiled bitterly. It was indeed boring, but there was no other way, because before this, they did not know that the fire python had told the beast emperors on the second floor in advance. Chapter 1720. Yu Huang glanced at Wu Jiao, then looked at Qin Feiyang and said, "Since Lord Jiao Emperor has said so, shall we accept it? It's hard to refuse such kindness." "Of course." Qin Feiyang chuckled. "You're really not polite." Upon seeing Qin Feiyang and Yu Huang singing the same tune, a look of disdain appeared in Wu Jiao's eyes. Qin Feiyang chuckled, and sent the tree of creation to Ling Yunfei's castle. Then he looked at Wu Jiao and asked, "Have you seen other humans in the past 2 years?" "Other humans?" Wu Jiao pondered for a while and shook his head. "Other than you and your great-grandfather, I haven't seen anyone else." "Great-grandfather," Qin Feiyang murmured. Wu Jiao asked suspiciously, "Brother Qin, what's the situation between you and your great-grandfather?" Qin Feiyang remained silent. "Boss Qin, I'm going to say something that I shouldn't say. Although you seem to hate your great-grandfather on the surface, you still miss him in your heart." Yu Huang said, "How could that be?" Qin Feiyang shook his head. "Don't deny it. If you really don't miss him, why did you let him go earlier? You should know that you had a chance to kill him just now." Yu Huang said. Wu Jiao raised his eyebrows and said telepathically, "It's good that you know it. Why do you have to expose it?" Yu Huang was stunned. He quickly looked at Qin Feiyang and said, "Just pretend that I didn't say anything." Qin Feiyang smiled and said, "I admit that I actually still have a trace of hope." Yu Huang and Wu Jiao looked at each other, then looked at Qin Feiyang, and waited for him to continue. "You don't know what I've been through. You don't know how much I want to have a complete family. However, these things are very common in the eyes of ordinary people. But to me, they are a kind of extravagant hope. Therefore, even though Emperor Hong was heartless to me, I still respect him from the bottom of my heart. I hope he can see my intentions. I don't expect him to treat me like family, but at least he doesn't treat me like an enemy." Qin Feiyang sighed. Upon hearing this, Yu Huang and Wu Jiao could not help but let out a long sigh in their hearts. "Let's not talk about these things." Qin Feiyang waved his hand. He looked at Wu Jiao and asked, "I heard you mention my ancestor's name. Do you know him?" Wu Jiao said emotionally. Who in the second floor doesn't know the name of Qin Batian? Wait. I remember Brother Hua saying that back then. The fire dragon joined forces with the ferocious beasts on the second level to deal with my ancestor. Could it be that you're also involved? Qin Feiyang frowned. Wu Jiao went silent for a moment, then said, to tell you the truth, this emperor was indeed involved. Qin Feiyang clenched his fists, a cold glint in his eyes. Boss Qin, don't be rash. Wu Jiao is only following orders. The fire dragon is the real culprit. Yu Huang saw that the situation was bad, and hurriedly sent his voice to calm him down. Brother Qin, I know you want to kill me right now, but you have to understand that I have my own difficulties. A ferocious beast like me is nothing in this miracle. But then again, your ancestor was truly an amazing person. Back then, all the beast emperors on the second floor were mobilized, but they still couldn't kill him. If he hadn't used his thaumaturgy to save his subordinates and lost his cultivation, I'm afraid we would have been killed by him. Wu Jiao shook his head and sighed. Thinking of that battle back then, he couldn't help but break out in cold sweat. That was truly thrilling. After living for so many years, this was the first time he saw such a terrifying human. Huff. Qin Feiyang took a deep breath and nodded. I can understand your situation, and the other beast emperor's situation back then. Every injustice has its perpetrator, and every debt has its debtor. Don't worry, I won't cause trouble for you. Thank you for your understanding, Brother Qin. Wu Jiao said gratefully. Qin Feiyang said, tell me about what happened to my ancestor back then. Wu Jiao had personally experienced that battle back then, so he definitely knew more than the fire python. Okay. Wu Jiao nodded and recounted the events of that year in detail. Time flew. That afternoon, Qin Feiyang said goodbye to Wu Jiao and returned with Yu Huang. Boss Qin, I didn't expect your ancestor to be such a person. He's so great and admirable. Yu Huang said with admiration. Yeah. As his descendant, I'm honored. Qin Feiyang nodded. In fact, what Wu Jiao said was roughly the same as what the fire python said, but it was more detailed and specific. In short, the culprit was the fire dragon. Yu Huang asked. Then should we prepare to enter the third level? Enter the third level. Qin Feiyang was stunned. Back then, your ancestor led his subordinates into the third level, so I think he must have left some clues there. If you want to find him, you have to follow these clues and continue to search. Yu Huang said. Qin Feiyang said. But didn't he appear in the ancient world again? This is what we're looking for. How did he enter the ancient world? Why did he enter the ancient world? Yu Huang said. Qin Feiyang pondered. After a while, Qin Feiyang shook his head and said, there's no hurry to find my ancestor for now. The first thing we have to deal with is the threat of Great Qin. Mu Tianyang? Yu Huang asked. Not only Mu Tianyang, but also Zhuge Mingyang, and even the so-called demon ancestor behind Zhuge Mingyang. Only by dealing with these people can I be at ease to find my ancestor. Qin Feiyang said. Yu Huang nodded. Suddenly, its eyes turned and stopped in the void, looking at Qin Feiyang and said, I suddenly remembered something. You go and meet up with old Zhao and the others first. After saying that, without waiting for Qin Feiyang's response, it turned and flew away. Qin Feiyang was stunned, turned to Yu Huang and asked, what's the matter? It has nothing to do with you. Yu Huang didn't even turn her head as she spoke. Qin Feiyang said angrily, then you have to tell me, when are you coming back? I'll go back when I'm done. It shouldn't take long. After Yu Huang finished speaking, he disappeared from Qin Feiyang's sight. What's going on? Qin Feiyang scratched his head looking puzzled. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. Qin Feiyang finally returned to the square, landed in front of the stone gate, and glanced around, a trace of suspicion in his eyes. Zhao Tailai Tang Hai, where are the undead? Didn't they say they would meet here? Why is there no one here now? In his heart, he couldn't help but worry. Although Zhao Tailai and Tang Hai have both stepped into the war god realm, but on the second floor of the miracle, these two early-stage war gods are nothing at all. As for the undead, he was not too worried. It was not that he had no feelings for the undead, and did not care about her life or death. It was because the strength of the undead was originally very strong, coupled with her undead body. I'm afraid that even a low-stage war god may not be able to hurt her. Wait. Isn't there an enslavement seal? Qin Feiyong suddenly patted his head, closed his eyes, and quickly sensed Tang Hai's position through the enslavement seal. Soon, he sensed Tang Hai's position. The West. Being able to sense the position proved that he was fine. And Tang Hai was still rushing here at this moment. Since Tang Hai was fine, then Zhao Tailai should also be fine. After all, Zhao Tailai was also a very cautious person. Calm down. He took out that battle sword. 3 feet long, 3 fingers wide battle sword, as white as jade, exuding a threatening edge. The blood contract of this battle sword was still there. With his cultivation base, he definitely couldn't erase it. After all, Emperor Hong had stepped into the war god realm, so he could only wait for Zhao Tailai and Tang Hai to come back. But he had to admit that his luck this time was really good. Not only did he get a tree of good fortune, but he also got a divine weapon comparable to the divine phoenix blade. On the contrary, his great-grandfather, this time it could be said that he suffered a double loss. Not only did he not get the tree of good fortune, but he also lost a powerful divine weapon. And he got it. Probably now somewhere he was vomiting blood in anger. Buzz. But suddenly, the battle sword in his hand buzzed and trembled, trying to break free and fly away. At the same time, strands of astonishing sword chi shot out. And Qin Feiyong was shocked. He hurriedly opened his armor and held the battle sword tightly. He lowered his head and looked at the battle sword, his eyes full of surprise. How could this battle sword be revived? No. He quivered and hurriedly sent the battle sword to the castle. Following closely, divine sense rolled out, pouncing in all directions. Immediately, he turned around abruptly and looked at the forest in front of him to the right. There, he caught a spatial divine object. Qin Feiyong said in a deep voice, "Come out." Swish. Not long after his voice fell, an old figure appeared out of thin air. Who else could it be but Emperor Hong? Qin Feiyong sneered. The dignified Emperor Hong, actually sneaking behind a junior. Don't you find it shameful? Emperor Hong said. Give me back the heavenly great sword. So it's called heavenly great sword, Qin Feiyong muttered and sneered. Do you think it's possible? Emperor Hong said coldly. You have no choice. No choice. Qin Feiyong was stunned. Emperor Hong shouted. I'm your great-grandfather, this is an order. When Qin Feiyong heard this, he immediately burned with anger and roared. Don't mention anything about great-grandfather to me. Ask yourself honestly, have you ever treated me as your great-grandson? Emperor Hong said expressionlessly. This is your own fault, you can't blame this old man. I only have myself to blame? Then I'd like to ask, what exactly did I do wrong? Qin Feiyong was so angry that he laughed instead, and said, You've done so many heartless things in the imperial capital, and even killed your own brother. Isn't this your own fault? If you hadn't done this, would this old man not recognize you as my great-grandson? Emperor Hong said. Hee hee. Haha. Qin Feiyong laughed out loud, looking a little crazy. What's wrong? I have nothing to say. Emperor Hong sneered. Since you've already said so much, what else can I say? I might as well tell you directly, heavenly great sword, don't even think about it. If you have the ability, come and snatch it yourself. The corner of Qin Feiyong's mouth lifted, his eyes full of contempt. All right. Don't regret it. A cold light flashed in Emperor Hong's eyes, and his divine might erupted. From afar, it looked like a group of divine soldiers descending from the heavens, menacing and terrifying. The inner demon's Emperor Hong was also panicking, ignoring the inner demon's Qin Feiyong. He rushed at Emperor Hong. Aren't you arrogant? The inner demon's Qin Feiyong chuckled, then threw out the ancient castle. With a bang, the ancient castle smashed into the back of the inner demon's Emperor Hong's head. The inner demon's Emperor Hong immediately let out a miserable howl. His head almost shattered, blood gushing out. However, he ignored it and continued to teleport, rushing towards Emperor Hong. The inner demons laughed sinisterly, grabbed the ancient castle, and chased after him. Seeing that Emperor Hong was about to lose his life under the broken swords of the 101 statues, an old man suddenly appeared behind Qin Feiyong, and in his hand he was holding a bone-chilling dagger. The one who will die today is not Emperor Hong, but you. The old man smiled sinisterly, and the dagger suddenly pierced into Qin Feiyang's back, entering his qi. Qin Feiyang's qi was destroyed on the spot. With the qi destroyed, the 100 incarnations immediately dissipated. The 101 statues also disintegrated one after another. This sudden turn of events not only caught Qin Feiyang and the inner demons off guard, but even Emperor Hong and the inner demons did not expect it at all. When they came back to their senses, they hurriedly looked over. "It's you!" The inner demons' expression immediately changed. Emperor Hong and the inner demons, on the other hand, revealed looks of joy. The old man glanced at the two of them, then looked at the inner demons Qin Feiyang and said, "That's right, it's Imperial Tutor." Right. The person who suddenly ran out to ambush Qin Feiyang was the current Imperial Tutor. After the Imperial Tutor finished speaking, he pulled out the dagger in his hand and landed in front of Qin Feiyang. He grabbed Qin Feiyang's neck and sneered, "You didn't expect it, right? Imperial Tutor is also here." "I really didn't expect it. However, you, one Emperor Hong, one Imperial Tutor, actually like to do this kind of sneak attack. How laughable." Qin Feiyang said, "The winner is the king, the loser is the bandit. The process is not important, the result is important. Don't you understand this point?" The Imperial Tutor sneered, turned his head to look at Emperor Hong and said, "Lord Emperor Hong, tell me, how do you want to deal with him?" Emperor Hong looked at Qin Feiyang, his face gloomy. Suddenly, he took a step forward and landed in front of Qin Feiyang. With a raise of his hand, he slapped Qin Feiyang's face fiercely. "This slap is to teach you that you must know how to be filial." As he spoke, Emperor Hong slapped Qin Feiyang's face again and said, "This slap is for your parents, you inhumane beast." After receiving the first slap, Qin Feiyang did not have any reaction. But Chapter 1723. Hey. Why aren't you letting go of Brother Qin? Do you have to force us to make a move? Let me tell you, if you let us make a move, the consequences are not something you can bear. A group of beast emperors clamored unscrupulously. The three of them had gloomy faces. The Imperial Preceptor hardened his heart and pinched Qin Feiyang's neck hard and shouted, "Get out of my way, or else I'll kill him." "Yo, you actually dare to threaten us? This old man has guts. Then hurry up and kill him. Anyway, we will help Brother Qin take revenge." The group of beast emperors remained unmoved, nor did they have any intention of moving aside. This time, the Imperial Preceptor was in an awkward situation. Originally, he wanted to use Qin Feiyang to escape, but these beast emperors were not threatened at all. But if he were to let Qin Feiyang go like this, it would be like letting a tiger return to the mountain. Qin Feiyang's strength was obvious to all. He was still in the pseudo-god stage, and he could already compete with the early stage war god. If he were to break through to the early stage war god stage, wouldn't he be able to kill them in an instant? Moreover, even if they let Qin Feiyang go now, these beasts might not let them go. Did you see that? This is my character. Good luck. Even these untamed ferocious beasts are willing to help us. The inner demons Qin Feiyang stood beside the giant black tiger, glanced at the three of them and sneered. The three of them glared at him angrily. The inner demons Qin Feiyang said contemptuously, "I have thousands of troops behind me. What else do you want?" The inner demons Emperor Hong said angrily, "If you have the ability, fight me one-on-one. Weren't we fighting one-on-one just now? It was you who ran away. Now that you see that the situation isn't right, you came to fight me one-on-one? Are you stupid, or am I stupid?" The inner demons Qin Feiyang had a look of disdain on his face. The inner demons Emperor Hong was so angry that his beard blew, and his eyes widened. The Imperial Grandmaster transmitted his voice. "Don't talk to him. He's purposely angering you so that he can find a chance to catch all of us in one go. This little bastard, I'll destroy him sooner or later." Emperor Hong of the inner demons coldly snorted. "Why aren't you saying anything? Come. Let's exchange some pointers." The inner demons Qin Feiyang began to clamor. The inner demons Emperor Hong glanced at him, then looked at Emperor Hong and the Imperial Advisor, and said angrily, "This little bastard is too infuriating. Leave immediately." or else I won't be able to hold back. The state preceptor glanced at the surrounding beasts. Suddenly, he picked up Qin Feiyang and threw him to the ground. The beast emperor's expressions changed as they hurriedly flew toward Qin Feiyang. Seeing that the situation was not good, Tang Hai quickly changed the topic. He glanced at the undead next to him and asked, "Old Zhao hasn't come back yet?" "No." Qin Feiyang shook his head and looked at the Qianquan bag in his arms. He snorted coldly and said, "I won't argue with you this time, but if you dare to play with me like this again, then don't blame me for being rude." "I wouldn't dare." Tang Hai lowered his head and said, although he could not see Tang Hai's expression, he could tell from Tang Hai's eyes that he did not take his words to heart. Qin Feiyang turned to look at the undead and asked, "Do I have no prestige?" The undead did not answer. Tang Hai also looked elsewhere, as if he did not hear it. Qin Feiyang shook his head helplessly and took the spiritual infant fruits into the castle. He told Dan Wangkai to refine the spirit congealing pills for everyone to refine. Then, he entered the Black Tortoise realm again and pondered. There were so many spiritual infant trees. If they were to be planted in Ling Yunfei's space divine item, he would not be at ease. Because Ling Yunfei's space divine item was relatively fragile. If he was not careful, it could be destroyed in the Jade War. If the space divine item was destroyed, then these spiritual infant trees would also be destroyed. The Black Tortoise realm was different. Because the Black Tortoise realm was a true small world, there was no need to worry about it being destroyed. Looks like I have to find a place in the Black Tortoise realm and open up a plot of land. Qin Feiyang muttered, closed his eyes and concealed his perception. Suddenly, his perception entered the Devil's Mountain range. He could not help but be stunned. Wasn't this Devil's Mountain range a very good place? The Devil's Mountain range was one of the 4 forbidden areas of the Black Tortoise realm. It was surrounded by the River of Erosion, and ordinary people did not dare to step into it. It sank a little. Qin Feiyang's figure flashed and instantly appeared in the central area of the Devil's Mountain range. Below, there were layers upon layers of mountains and lush trees. And right below, there was an ancient square. This place was the entrance to the Black Tortoise realm. This place feels pretty good. Qin Feiyang landed in the center of the square and scanned his surroundings. This was the first place he entered the Black Tortoise realm, and it had a very special meaning. Good. This is it. If you say G, then G never? Rumble. With a wave of his hand, the area within a radius of 10,000 miles was razed to the ground, and countless beasts fled in panic. This action immediately alarmed the other 9 beast emperors in the Devil's Mountain range. In the central area of the Devil's Mountain range, there were a total of 10 pseudo-god realm beast emperors. The Golden Panther had already left, so there were only 9 left. Who is so bold to come to our territory and cause trouble? Brother, let's go cripple him. In order to protect their dignity, the 9 beast emperors immediately moved, aggressively flying towards Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang did not know for the time being. Even if he knew, he was not in the mood to care. He took out the nascent soul tree from his Qianquan bag and planted them on the ground one by one. Moreover, he also entered Ling Yunfei's spatial divine item and used his power to move the tree of creation, nascent soul tree, and various Y materials to the Black Tortoise realm. Not long after, a Y field was formed. The air was soon filled with a G of rich Y fragrance. Not bad. Qin Feiyang nodded. He then entered Ling Yunfei's spatial divine item and moved the blood-devouring bees, as well as countless beehives, and placed them on one side of the Y field. Standing in the middle of the square, Qin Feiyang glanced at the Y field and the blood-devouring bees. It seemed that something was missing. Yes, a home. In the future, this would be his base camp, so he must have a home. He actually created a Y field here. Did he ask for our permission? He must have eaten a leopard's guts. This is no longer causing trouble, this is snatching our territory. Who is it? Come out with us. The 9 beast emperors flew over at this time, and when they saw the Y field below, they were immediately furious. Qin Feiyang heard the voices of the 9 beast emperors, and he could not help but be stunned. Then the corners of his mouth lifted slightly and said, "Just in time." Swoosh. He took a step forward and instantly appeared in front of the 9 Beast Emperors. It's you. The 9 Beast Emperors looked at Qin Feiyang and asked suspiciously. That's right, it's me. From now on, you guys will stay here and help me guard this Y field. No one is allowed to set foot in it. Qin Feiyang said. What the hell? You want us to guard Y field for you? The 9 Beast Emperors were stunned. Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded. Haha. Kid, do you know who we are? Opening Y field in our territory and still guarding it. Are you sure there's nothing wrong with your brain? The 9 Beast Emperors immediately laughed. Qin Feiyang was stunned and said in amusement. Then do you know who I am? Do you know whose territory you're standing on right now? How would I know who you are? Cut the crap. Take these Y materials and get the hell out of here. No. Leave these Y materials behind and get lost yourself. The 9 Beast Emperors waved their claws and said impatiently. Qin Feiyang was stunned and asked curiously. Didn't the Golden Panther mention me to you? Are you that awesome? Why should he mention you? The 9 Beast Emperors' eyes were full of disdain. I see. Qin Feiyang suddenly realized that the 9 Beast Emperors didn't know that the Black Tortoise world had changed owners. What are you mumbling over there? I told you to get lost, didn't you hear me? Chapter 1726. Zhuge Mingyang's gaze was cold as he shouted, Let him go! Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and Yin Wei immediately flew towards Zhuge Mingyang. Zhuge Mingyang released the power of the false god to support Yin Wei, then took out a spirit sea pill, and let Yin Wei consume it. Thank you, young master. Yin Wei took the spirit sea pill, and quickly thanked him. Qin Feiyang said, I've given you the person, can we go out now? Zhuge Mingyang looked around and said with a smile, To be honest, I really don't want to leave this place. Then why don't you stay here? Qin Feiyang said. Good idea. Let's make such a happy decision. Zhuge Mingyang nodded and smiled. Qin Feiyang was so angry that his whole body trembled. Of course. This was all an act. Forget it, I won't tease you anymore. Zhuge Mingyang chuckled and said. Before we go out, help me remove the devil mark. Qin Feiyang said. I can't remove it. You're the master of the Black Tortoise realm now. Can't you remove the devil mark? Do you think I'm stupid? Zhuge Mingyang sneered. You're really smart. Qin Feiyang gritted his teeth and said. Zhuge Mingyang smiled and said. I'm just so. Compared to you, I'm still far behind. Qin Feiyang let out a long breath. The Heart of Origin appeared, and quickly removed the devil mark for Zhuge Mingyang. Then with a wave of his hand, he brought the two of them, and appeared in the divine sight. This is the second level? Zhuge Mingyang looked around curiously. Qin Feiyang said impatiently. Cut the crap. What do you want me to do? Don't be so impatient. Zhuge Mingyang chuckled. Then, he turned around and took out a piece of animal skin from his Qingquan bag. Then, he unfolded it and started to examine it carefully. Qin Feiyang tiptoed to take a look, and found that it was actually a map. Just as he was about to walk in front of Zhuge Mingyang to check the map, Zhuge Mingyang put away the map. Qin Feiyang asked suspiciously, Where is this map of? Does it have anything to do with you? Zhuge Mingyang sneered, then raised his head to identify the direction and said, Follow me. After saying that, with a wave of his hand, Zhuge Mingyang swept up Yin Wei and flew towards the southeast. Qin Feiyang furrowed his brows and followed behind the two unhurriedly. A moment later, Yin Wei's Qi was finally restored. Zhuge Mingyang transmitted his voice. How did you end up in Qin Feiyang's hands? It's a long story. A few days ago, everyone and I were recuperating in a water source on the first floor. Then this Qin Feiyang suddenly appeared and killed all of us. Yin Wei secretly said. Then why didn't he kill you? Zhuge Mingyang's eyes flashed slightly and asked. He knows that the Imperial Preceptor thinks highly of me, and wants to force out the secrets of the Imperial Preceptor from me. But am I the kind of person who is afraid of death? These days he made that damn Fatso and Wolf King think of ways to torture me, but I'm not afraid at all. I thought that I would definitely die, but I didn't expect that I would meet you, young master. It's true that there's always a way out. Yin Wei said. So that's how it is. Zhuge Mingyang suddenly nodded his head, then frowned and transmitted his voice. That's not right. Doesn't he have the slave seal? Why didn't he use the slave seal to control you? Obviously, he was very careful and didn't really believe in Yin Wei. But now, he still didn't know that Qin Feiyang had mastered another kind of miraculous secret technique, the puppet technique. Because he knows that the Imperial Preceptor is controlling me with the Blood Soul technique. If he uses the slave seal to control me again, the Blood Soul technique will be erased, and at that time, the Imperial Preceptor will be alarmed. Yin Wei transmitted his voice. He had already thought of these questions in advance and prepared the answers. Zhuge Mingyang said, "Then who are the people in his castle now? Let me think." Yin Wei lowered his head and pretended to think, but secretly transmitted his voice to Qin Feiyang. "Young master," Zhuge Mingyang asked me, "who are the people in the castle now? How should I answer?" Qin Feiyang secretly said, "Answer truthfully." Although there were many things that Zhuge Mingyang didn't know yet, but these things would be exposed sooner or later. If he hid something now, it might be extremely disadvantageous for Yin Wei in the future. Yin Wei trusted him so much and worked for him wholeheartedly. He must not put Yin Wei in danger. Okay. Yin Wei secretly responded, looked at Zhuge Mingyang and transmitted his voice. It's almost the same people as before. As soon as Yin Wei finished speaking, a murderous intent flashed in Zhuge Mingyang's eyes. Because he knew that there were more people around Qin Feiyang now, so he thought that Yin Wei was lying to him. Yin Wei said again, "However, there are more unfamiliar faces." Heard. The murderous intent in Zhuge Mingyang's eyes quietly dissipated, and secretly said, "Who are they? What do they look like?" "There are two people who are the most eye-catching. One of them is called Zhao Tailai, the other is called Tang Hai. These two people's cultivation is very good. They seem to be the legendary war gods." Yin Wei secretly said, "Zhao Tailai Tang Hai. I know this Zhao Tailai. He is the deputy chief of the Vanga League. But who is this Tang Hai?" Zhuge Mingyang was suspicious. Yin Wei said, "I heard that Tang Hai is the Lord of the Nether Hall." "What? The Lord of the Nether Hall? Didn't he leave with the Guardian? Why is he with Qin Feiyang?" "Are you sure?" Zhuge Mingyang secretly said. "I'm sure." Yin Wei nodded. It seems that a lot of things have happened during this period. Zhuge Mingyang secretly muttered and said in a deep voice, "Did you see Ning Mingyi and Li Yun?" Chapter 1727. He didn't believe what Yin Wei said before. But he didn't expect it to be true. It was even more exaggerated than what Yin Wei said. He actually called the Beast Emperor here brother. After a long while, Zhuge Mingyang came back to his senses and turned to look at Qin Feiyang. "Brother Qin, what's going on?" "My character is good." Qin Feiyang shrugged and said, "Good character?" The corner of Zhuge Mingyang's mouth twitched. Only a ghost would believe such a lousy excuse. He glanced at Yin Wei and said, "You said that you were captured by Qin Feiyang on the first floor?" "Yes." Yin Wei nodded. "These beast emperors helped him. I think they must have reached some agreement with Qin Feiyang. Since you were captured on the first floor, you should have entered the second floor with Qin Feiyang. Although you are imprisoned, you can hear the movements outside. Have you heard anything these days?" Zhuge Mingyang said secretly. "I vaguely heard that it seems to be related to the Guardian." Yin Wei thought. "Guardian?" Zhuge Mingyang was even more puzzled. Wasn't the giant python dead? How could it be related to the Guardian? Wait, could it be that a new Guardian had appeared? And this Guardian had a close relationship with Qin Feiyang? If that was the case, it would be bad. It seemed that he couldn't fall out with Qin Feiyang in the miracle. Yin Wei asked calmly, "Young master, where are we going to take Qin Feiyang now?" Zhuge Mingyang smiled and said, "You will know when we get there." Yin Wei nodded. In case Zhuge Mingyang was suspicious, he didn't ask further. Zhuge Mingyang pondered for a moment and said inwardly, "After Qin Feiyang captured you, what did he interrogate you about?" "News of his mother, his grandfather, Lin Yi, and the mermaid princess. But I don't even know where they are." Yin Wei said, "Of course you don't. Because these things are only known to me and my ancestor." Zhuge Mingyang said, "Then where are they?" Yin Wei was curious. But then he hurriedly said, "Young master, I'm sorry. I forgot the rules. Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. Since you're so loyal to me and my ancestors, there's no harm in telling you. Lin Yi and the mermaid princess are now in the sea of reincarnation. Zhuge Mingyang said. As for Qin Feiyang's mother and grandfather, he did not mention a single word. Sea of reincarnation? Yin Wei was suspicious. Yes, they are now my master's disciples, which means they are my junior sisters. But they don't know that my master has a grudge with Qin Batian. Master accepted them as disciples. On the surface, it was said that he took a fancy to their aptitude, but in fact, it was to deal with Qin Feiyang. Zhuge Mingyang laughed. Deal with Qin Feiyang? Yin Wei was suspicious. Yes. Think about it. These two are Qin Feiyang's most beloved women. How interesting is it to let them and Qin Feiyang kill each other? Zhuge Mingyang said. I see. Chapter 1729. In other words, everything that Lu Zheng had said had actually happened before. Wait. Suddenly, a trace of bewilderment appeared in Qin Feiyang's eyes. What Lu Zheng said was confirmed. Did it mean that Lu Zheng knew the truth? Thinking of this, Qin Feiyang turned to Zhao Tailai and said, Wait for me here. I'll go to Ling Yunfei's space treasure. Okay. Zhao Tailai nodded. Qin Feiyang flashed and appeared above a mountain. He closed his eyes and sensed for a while. Then he appeared by a river. He saw Lu Zheng sitting cross-legged on a bluestone, fishing silently. How's the progress? Qin Feiyang took a step forward and landed beside Lu Zheng. He asked with a smile. Lu Zheng smiled and said, The Crocodile Emperor has told me that you and Li Jian comprehended the mysteries of becoming a god. I benefited a lot. Qin Feiyang said, It seems that we will have another fake god soon. How can it be so easy? Lu Zheng smiled bitterly and asked suspiciously, What are you doing here? Qin Feiyang said, I have something to ask you. I hope you won't hide anything, and tell me the truth. What is it? Lu Zheng was puzzled. Qin Feiyang asked, Do you remember the origin of the blood-soul technique that you told me? The origin of the blood-soul technique? Lu Zheng was stunned. He tried to recall for a moment and said, I think I did tell you. The demon ancestor and the demonic dragon that you mentioned are now confirmed. They really exist. Tell me, is this a coincidence? Qin Feiyang asked. What do you mean? Lu Zheng looked at Qin Feiyang with a puzzled face. Qin Feiyang said, You should know what I mean. Lu Zheng thought for a while and frowned. You suspect that I'm lying to you? Lin Yi, mermaid princess, mother, and even grandfather are involved with the demon ancestor. Shouldn't I suspect you? Qin Feiyang said angrily. Lu Zheng suddenly smiled and said, So you think that I knew the truth but kept it from you and didn't tell you? Isn't it? Qin Feiyang said. Lu Zheng shook his head and sighed. Cousin, I can tell you responsibly that I really don't know. When I told you about Demon Alpha and Demon Dragon, it was purely because of the blood-soul technique. Qin Feiyang frowned. You still don't believe me? Let me explain it to you like this. Before I learned that the demon ancestor and the demon dragon really existed, I also thought that they were just legends. Lu Zheng said. Qin Feiyang looked at Lu Zheng's expression. There was no trace of deception, so he asked, Does big cousin know? How would I know? You have to ask him. But you have to be mentally prepared. Even if big brother knows, he will probably hide it from you like second grandpa and the others. Lu Zheng said. I'm no longer a child. Qin Feiyang sighed helplessly. Don't I think so too? But in their eyes, we are children. I'm afraid that we can't bear the pressure. Lu Zheng sighed and smiled again. But without relying on them, can't we still find out the truth? Although there is still a distance from the truth, at least we have the main clues. Don't you think so? Don't take the credit. I've always been the one investigating, okay? You've been hiding here to cultivate. Qin Feiyang was speechless. Is there a distinction between brothers? Your credit is also my credit. Lu Zheng said with dissatisfaction. Fine, it's all your credit. Go on, hero. I won't disturb you anymore. Qin Feiyang looked at him helplessly. Then, he left the spatial divine item and appeared in the canyon. Zhuge Mingyang asked, Brother Qin, what do you think? Qin Feiyang looked at the lake and said, Am I the only one who can break the seal here? Zhuge Mingyang's eyes flashed and he said anxiously, Mu Tianyang must have a way to break it. We have to get ahead of him. Mu Tianyang, Qin Feiyang murmured. Brother Qin, We really can't hesitate on this matter. We have to solve it as soon as possible. Otherwise, there will be endless troubles. Zhuge Mingyang urged. Haha. Qin Feiyang suddenly laughed. What are you laughing at? Zhuge Mingyang raised his eyebrows. Qin Feiyang sneered and said, I don't think your purpose of bringing me here is so simple. Look at what you're saying. What other purpose can I have? Zhuge Mingyang was unhappy. Do you know? In the past, I had an agreement with Mu Tianyang. I couldn't understand this agreement. But just now I carefully thought about it for a while. After connecting the causes and effects, I suddenly understood. Qin Feiyang said. What agreement? Zhuge Mingyang was suspicious. Back then, Mu Tianyang asked me to do something for him, after entering the divine ruins. I think it should be for this Mu Tianjun. Qin Feiyang smiled. This question had puzzled him for a long time. In the past, when he was weak, Mu Tianyang had the chance to kill him. But why didn't he do it? And even gave him the alchemy scripture? Now, the truth finally surfaced. All that Mu Tianyang did was to train him and make him stronger as soon as possible. Then, they would enter the divine ruins together and help Mu Tianyang escape. And who was Mu Tianyang? If Mu Tianyang really had the ability to break the seal, why did he train him? Therefore, there was only one explanation. He was the only one who could break the seal here. But now, Zhuge Mingyang said that Mu Tianyang definitely had a way to break the seal. He was obviously lying. Then there was a problem. Why did Zhuge Mingyang lie to him? And why was he so eager to break the seal? There was a lot of story behind this. At the same time, hearing Qin Feiyang's words, Zhuge Mingyang also lowered his head and frowned. Mu Tianyang and Qin Feiyang actually had such an agreement? If that was the case, then didn't what he said before reveal his problem? This bastard is really difficult to deal with. Chapter 1731. The facial features of the stone statue were well defined. Its eyes were bright and full of spirit. It was like a pair of eyes that could see through everything and the origin of the world. Qin Feiyang would never be able to forget this face. The stone statue was still rising. His upper body and legs gradually appeared. That straight body was like an iron pine, holding a broken sword in his hand. Although it was just a stone statue, it could not hide the innate demeanor of a king. In a trance, everyone seemed to have seen the birth of an overlord of heaven and earth, and a deep sense of awe rose spontaneously in their hearts. This is the Qin Emperor who has never been seen before, Zhao Tailai murmured. Although he had also stepped into the war god realm, the middle-aged man in front of him made him feel a sense of respect from the bottom of his heart. Suddenly, Zhao Tailai looked down at the foot of the stone statue and exclaimed, Young master, look at the foot of the stone statue. Not only Qin Feiyang, Zhuge Mingyang, Yan Wei, and Mu Tianyang, who was standing in the space divine object, were all looking at the face of the stone statue at this moment. Hearing Zhao Tailai's words, everyone immediately lowered their heads and looked at the foot of the stone statue. At this moment, everyone's face was filled with shock. Under the feet of the stone statue, there were actually 2 stone coffins. Boom! The stone statue finally rose from the ground completely. It was hundreds of feet high, like a huge mountain, and the invisible aura was overwhelming, making people breathless. He stood on the 2 stone coffins, as if he was using his body to suppress the thing in the coffins. Why are there 2 stone coffins? Qin Feiyang looked at the 2 stone coffins and murmured to himself. Logically speaking, even if the ancestor sealed Mu Tianjun in a stone coffin, there should only be 1 stone coffin. Who was sealed in the other stone coffin? And the shape and size of the 2 stone coffins were almost identical. How could this be? 2 stone coffins, which one is the second brother sealed in? At the same time, Mu Tianyang was also bewildered. However, Zhuge Mingyang was not surprised at all. Instead, he was very excited. Don't worry, you will be able to break out of the seal very soon. He looked at the sarcophagus under the right foot of the stone statue. His hands were tightly clenched together as he muttered under his breath. Yan Wei glanced at Zhuge Mingyang and transmitted his voice. Young master, look at Zhuge Mingyang's reaction. Qin Feiyang turned his head to look at Zhuge Mingyang, and then at the sarcophagus that Zhuge Mingyang was staring at. A glint flashed across the depths of his eyes. It seemed that the sarcophagus at the foot of the ancestral statue was Zhuge Mingyang's target. Qin Feiyong transmitted his voice. "Old Zhao, get ready." "What is it?" Zhao Tailai was suspicious. Mu Nanfeng looked at the imperial preceptor with murderous intent in his eyes and said, "You're not the only one who has become a war god." "Is that so?" The imperial preceptor sneered. Boom! The Emperor Lord's body shook, and a terrifying divine aura exploded. It was a pure divine aura. He really is a war god. The imperial preceptor was surprised. Zhuge Fengtian raised his eyebrows and reminded, "Ancestor, be careful. He's the Emperor Lord of the Black Tortoise World's Heavenly Sun Empire. Don't underestimate him." "What kind of place is the Black Tortoise World?" The imperial preceptor was stunned and asked suspiciously. "Now's not the time to talk about this," Zhuge Mingyang said. He then turned and looked at Mu Tianyang and the others. "All right. Tell me slowly after we've taken care of them." With that, the imperial preceptor shouted, "Qin Feiyong is still behind us. Don't waste any time and end this quickly." "Yes." Zhuge Mingyang nodded and raised his head to look at Mu Tianyang and the others. He smiled and said, "What a bunch of reckless fools." Roar! A huge bone dragon soared into the sky. Innate divine ability, activated instantly. The cultivation of Wang Yuanshan and the others immediately plummeted. Peak Realm 9-star War Emperor, 9-star War Emperor, 8-star War Emperor, 7-star War Emperor. What? The few of them turned pale with fright. Without any hesitation, they immediately turned around and fled. If their cultivation was the same, even though Zhuge Mingyang's false god power had an innate advantage, they were confident in fighting. However, their cultivation was directly suppressed to 7-star War Emperor. There was no way they could continue fighting. Even Mu Tianyang had no choice but to retreat. Zhuge Mingyang looked at the 4 divine overlords and sneered. "Divine overlords, right? I'll kill you first." As soon as he finished speaking, he took a step forward and landed behind one of the divine overlords. With a slap, the grayish-white false god power gushed out, containing a destructive aura. Ah! Without any power to fight back, the divine overlord's body was torn into pieces on the spot. Blood splattered everywhere. Yeah, he got rid of one so quickly. At this time, Qin Feiyong and Zhao Tailai, who had rushed over, were surprised when they saw this scene. This speed was somewhat beyond imagination. War God's aura? Qin Feiyong was stunned. He turned to look at Mu Nanfeng and said in surprise, "He has actually broken through to the War God realm." That's not strange. In the Black Tortoise realm, his cultivation had already reached stage 10. After the devil imprint is removed, he will naturally break through to the War God realm like me, Zhao Tailai said. Qin Feiyong nodded in realization and said with a smile, "I almost forgot about this person." Then, he looked at Wang Yuanshan again, the murderous intent in his eyes undisguised. "Oh no, Qin Feiyong is here too." Mu Tianyang's divine sense body was immediately split into 2, and a few hundred strands of divine sense were destroyed by the light. 6 words killing art. What kind of divine art is this? Even the demon ancestor did not have such a divine art. Mu Tianyang was shocked. The power of the sever-word art had already surpassed that of a high-grade divine art. He quickly looked at Wang Yuanshan and the other 3 and shouted, "Come over immediately and revive the blood blade with me." The 4 of them quickly rushed to Mu Tianyang's side. The blood blade also streaked across the sky and floated above Mu Tianyang's head. Wang Yuanshan and the other 3 looked at each other as their false god power surged out and entered the blood blade. With the addition of Wang Yuanshan and the other 3, the sharpness of the blood blade became more and more terrifying. Zhao Tailai glanced at Wang Yuanshan and said, "Young master, it seems that Wang Yuanshan is indeed under Mu Tianyang's control." "There's no doubt about it," Qin Feiyong said. Zhao Tailai asked, "Then what should we do now?" Qin Feiyong transmitted his voice, "Go kill Tang Hai." "Kill Tang Hai?" Zhao Tailai was stunned. "Pretend to kill Tang Hai, and let the Imperial Emperor be careless. Then give him a fatal blow. We can spare Mu Tianyang, but this person must die." Qin Feiyong thought. "Why must we kill Mu Nanfeng?" Zhao Tailai was puzzled. Compared to Mu Nanfeng, Mu Tianyang was a bigger threat. So his name is Mu Nanfeng. Mu Tianyang has a heaven-defying divine artifact. It's not that easy to kill him, but Mu Nanfeng is easy to deal with. However, Mu Nanfeng is a god of war after all. If we don't get rid of him now, he and Mu Tianyang will definitely cause us a lot of trouble when they return to the Great Qin. Qin Feiyang thought. I see. Zhao Tailai nodded his head in realization. Swoosh. In the next moment, he teleported and rushed toward Mu Nanfeng and Tang Hai. Ancestor, be careful. Mu Nanfeng, be careful. Seeing this, Zhuge Mingyang and Mu Tianyang's expressions changed. They hurriedly reminded Mu Nanfeng and Tang Hai, their eyes fixed on Zhao Tailai. Mu Nanfeng and Tang Hai were also quite nervous at this moment, because Zhao Tailai's participation would break the balance here. Of course, Tang Hai was just pretending. Very soon, Zhao Tailai rushed to Mu Nanfeng's side. Mu Nanfeng thought that Zhao Tailai would attack him first, and was ready to fight back. However, Zhao Tailai brushed past him without looking back and shouted, "Come with me to kill the imperial tutor." Mu Nanfeng was stunned, and was immediately overjoyed. He immediately teleported and followed behind Zhao Tailai, charging toward the imperial tutor with murderous intent. However, he did not let down his guard against Zhao Tailai, because the Tianyang Empire and Qin Feiyang did not form an alliance. In such a situation, there could be changes at any time. Chapter 1733. What do you mean? Tang Hai was stunned. Zhao Tailai, this bastard, actually attacked him? Tang Hai quickly began to retreat and transmitted his voice. Bastard, it's me. I know it's you. Zhao Tailai secretly said. Then why did you kill me? Tang Hai said angrily. Zhao Tailai's eyes flashed with a hint of ridicule as he secretly said, "This is the young master's order. I can only obey." What? The young master asked you to kill me? Tang Hai was furious. That's right. Zhao Tailai transmitted his voice. Tang Hai glanced at Qin Feiyang in the distance and secretly said angrily, "Why? Did I do something wrong?" The young master said that you're a little unreliable. I think what the young master said makes sense. A guy who doesn't dare to show his true face is definitely not a good person. Zhao Tailai said. What the hell? Just because of this? Tang Hai was very depressed. Yes. Don't make a futile struggle. You know what the young master is capable of. If he wants to kill you, it's useless even if you hide in the sky. Zhao Tailai secretly said. Bastard. Since you're heartless, don't blame me for being unjust. I'll immediately tell Zhuge Mingyang and the others my identity. Tang Hai said angrily. Oh no. This is too much. Zhao Tailai's heart trembled as he hurriedly said. Don't be impulsive, I'm just joking with you. Why don't you think the young master will kill you for this reason? Joking? Tang Hai was stunned and immediately flew into a rage. He secretly shouted. Is this the time to joke? Instead of retreating, he rushed toward Zhao Tailai. Don't use your divine power. Zhuge Mingyang knows the state preceptor well. If he sees that your divine power is different from the state preceptor, he will definitely find out that you're an imposter. Zhao Tailai hurriedly said. Nonsense. Do I need you to remind me of such a simple thing? What's the young master's plan? Tang Hai was furious and threw a punch at Zhao Tailai. Kill Mu Nanfeng. Kill him in one blow. Zhao Tailai thought to himself, as he threw a punch at Tang Hai with all his might. He did not use any divine power, but their eyes were filled with murderous intent. Those who didn't know would really think that they had some kind of blood feud. Boom! The two fists collided. Both of them spat out a mouthful of blood at the same time, and were sent flying. Zhao Tailai shouted. This is your chance. Mu Nanfeng, quick. I don't need you to remind me. I know. A cold light flickered in Mu Nanfeng's eyes as he teleported in front of Tang Hai, and slammed his palm onto Tang Hai's chest. His quasi-divinity force surged as he roared. Go to hell! After Zhao Tai stabilized his body, he immediately rushed over murderously. Mu Nanfeng thought that Zhao Tailai was going to help kill Tang Hai, and let his guard down slightly. This was exactly what Zhao Tailai wanted. Just as Mu Nanfeng's palm landed on Tang Hai's chest, Zhao Tailai arrived beside Mu Nanfeng. The rusty axe appeared in an instant. He grabbed the axe and looked directly at Mu Nanfeng's head. A deadly sense of danger engulfed Mu Nanfeng. Immediately, he sensed that something was wrong, but it was too late for him to realize it now. The axe fell. Although it was rusty, its edge was extremely terrifying. Ah! Accompanied by a terrified scream, Mu Nanfeng's head was chopped off on the spot. Blood spurted out a few meters away, and dyed the void red. His target is actually Mu Nanfeng. Mu Tianyang, Wang Yuanshan, the three divine marquises, and Zhuge Mingyang were dumbfounded when they saw this unforeseen event. At first, they all thought that Zhao Tailai's target was the national master. However, they never thought that this was just a show put on by Zhao Tailai. Well done, Qin Feiyang murmured. Zhao Tailai looked at Mu Nanfeng, who had fallen down, and was in a daze at this moment. I actually killed a god of war. Although he was the one who chopped off Mu Nanfeng's head, he still couldn't get used to this scene, because this was the first time in his life that he had killed a god of war. Tang Hai glanced at Mu Nanfeng's body and looked at Zhao Tailai. He transmitted his voice. Does it feel good? Good, very good. This is a completely different feeling from killing a false god, Zhang Xian said. Zhao Tailai secretly said. His arm that was holding the axe was trembling. This wasn't fear. It was excitement. Enjoy it well. After all, when you kill more in the future, you won't feel this way anymore. Tang Hai whispered to Zhao Tai as he rushed towards Zhao Tailai aggressively. Still want to fight? Zhao Tailai was stunned. Tang Hai secretly said, of course, I have to put on a show. Bang! 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 The two immediately engaged in a fierce battle in the void. However, although it looked fierce, the two of them didn't suffer any fatal injuries. Qin Feiyang, you damn bastard. What good will it do you to kill Mu Nanfeng? At this moment, Mu Tianyang also came back to his senses and turned to look at Qin Feiyang. No matter what, the state preceptor and Zhuge Mingyang are also people of the great Qin. If I want to deal with someone, I will definitely deal with you first. Qin Feiyang said lightly. Brother Qin is indeed a reasonable person. Zhuge Mingyang laughed. Qin Feiyang took a step forward and landed behind Mu Tianyang. He looked at Zhuge Mingyang and said, I will hold Mu Tianyang back. You take care of the three divine marquises and Wang Yuanshan. Zhuge Mingyang glanced at Wang Yuanshan and the other three and sneered. As long as we don't have that heaven-defying divine artifact, killing them is as easy as killing dogs. But before that, can you ask Zhao Tailai to stop? No. Qin Feiyang shook his head. What do you mean? Don't you know that with our strength, it is impossible to kill Mu Tianyang? Zhuge Mingyang said angrily. Of course I know. Qin Feiyang said. Then why are you doing this? If Zhao Tailai stops fighting with the ancestor and comes over to help us, then even if Mu Tianyang hides in a divine artifact, we can still easily take care of him. Zhuge Mingyang shouted. Do you think I don't know what your ancestor is like? If he really comes over, he might stab me in the back. So for safety reasons, let Zhao Tailai play with him over there. Qin Feiyang sneered and waved his hand. The ancient castle appeared. Boom! The power of the three false gods surged out, and the ancient castle immediately released a world-destroying might. He didn't waste any more words with Zhuge Mingyang. He grabbed the ancient castle and threw it at the blood blade. Bastard! Zhuge Mingyang cursed, and also looked at Wang Yuanshan and the other three. Qin Feiyang, you forced me to do this. Mu Tianyang laughed angrily. He controlled the blood blade and fearlessly chopped towards the ancient castle. He then shouted at Wang Yuanshan and the other three. The four of you, no matter what method you use, you must kill Zhuge Mingyang for me. What? The four of them turned pale. They thought that Mu Tianyang would choose to retreat in the face of Zhuge Mingyang and Qin Feiyang. Even if he didn't retreat, he would send them to a divine artifact first. After all, they were no match for Zhuge Mingyang. However, they didn't expect that not only did Mu Tianyang not do that, but he also asked them to kill Zhuge Mingyang. What was the difference between this and asking them to die? They also felt aggrieved. No matter what, they were veteran semi-divinities, yet they were actually so fearful of a junior. Mu Tianyang glanced at the four and said word by word. Kill him even if you have to self-destruct. Self-destruct. The four of them trembled. You don't want to go? Then I'll cripple you now. Anyway, You're just a bunch of trash, I don't need you. Mu Tianyang's face became extremely ferocious. The four of them suddenly trembled and shouted, Zhuge Mingyang, come with us if you have the guts. The four of them immediately ran away. A bunch of trash, how dare you shout at me? Zhuge Mingyang calmly chased after them, his face full of disdain. Wang Yuanshan looked back at Zhuge Mingyang and said, Three divine overlords, do you have any ideas? Zhuge Mingyang's false god power is strange, but we can resist it if we work together. The only thing we're worried about is his war soul. Yeah, his war soul's talent is too terrifying. Once it engulfs us, we'll definitely die. The three divine overlords said, their eyes full of wariness. Wang Yuanshan said, but Mu Tianyang said that we have to kill him. There's only one way. One of the divine overlords said. What way? The three of them turned to look at him. The deity overlord said, although Zhuge Mingyang's innate divine ability is terrifying, it is limited by distance. As long as we don't fight him in close combat, and maintain a certain distance, his innate divine ability will not affect us. Wang Yuanshan's eyes lit up and said, that's right, use a divine art to wear him down. Our cultivation isn't any weaker than his, we can wear him down. Let's do that. The three divine overlords nodded. In the blink of an eye, clang, the ancient castle and the blood blade, the two heaven-defying divine artifacts finally clashed. The moment they met, dazzling sparks burst out. The destructive aura was earth-shattering, shattering the void for thousands of miles. Fortunately, Wang Yuanshan and the other three had foresight and didn't fight with Zhuge Mingyang. Otherwise, the aura alone would have been enough to injure them. Young Master and Mu Tianyang are finally going to fight. Zhao Tailai turned to look at Qin Feiyang and murmured, don't look over there, your opponent is me. Tang Hai raised his eyebrows. Opponent? We're just putting on an act. Zhao Tailai rolled his eyes. Although it's just an act, I'd like to see which of us is the young master's #1 warrior? Tang Hai said. What do you mean? You really want to fight with me? Zhao Tailai was stunned and frowned. You don't dare? Tang Hai looked at him provocatively. What a joke. In this world, is there anything that I, Zhao Tailai, don't dare to do? But before we fight, can I ask you a question? Zhao Tailai thought. What question? Tang Hai was suspicious. Zhao Tailai said. Is it really like what the young master said? Is it because you're too ugly that you don't dare to show your true face? I'm ugly? Tang Hai was stunned and said. Are you sure this is what the young master said? Yes, that's what the young master guessed. Zhao Tailai chuckled. How boring. Tang Hai snorted and stared at Zhao Tailai saying, cut the crap, come on. For the title of the #1 warrior, I won't lose to you. Zhao Tailai smiled proudly. Bang, bang. The two of them continued to collide in the void, causing the void to collapse and even the heavens and earth to lose their color. Looking at the situation, they weren't putting on an act. The power contained in each of their punches was enough to seriously injure the other party. Although they didn't use the false god's power, divine skills, or fighting souls, their battle was more exciting than the battle between Qin Feiyang and Mu Tianyang. Chapter 1734. On the other side, the battle between Zhuge Mingyang and Wang Yuanshan and the other three had also begun. As planned, the four of them had been keeping a safe distance from Zhuge Mingyang. When Zhuge Mingyang advanced, they retreated. When Zhuge Mingyang retreated, they advanced. They used their divine arts and fighting souls to fight a war of attrition with Zhuge Mingyang. Don't say. This method of fighting was quite effective. Zhuge Mingyang had been in a passive state of defense. Although his divine powers could also weaken the power of his divine arts and fighting souls, he did not dare to use them casually in a war of attrition, because the divine powers came from the fighting souls. The fighting souls could not be used for a long time, and would eventually be exhausted. The same went for the divine powers. Therefore, he had to save them for the critical moment. As a result, Zhuge Mingyang was in a very sullen situation. He had the ability to kill the four of them in seconds, but he had to slowly wear them down. Clang, clang. The battle between Qin Feiyang and Mu Tianyang had also reached its climax. The two heaven-defying artifacts collided with each other, under the control of the two. The mountains and rivers shattered and the earth sank. Mu Tianyang was really angry. Mu Tianjuan's divine body was stolen. A divine lord was killed. Mu Nanfeng, the god of war, was also killed by Zhao Tailai. It was a heavy loss. In fact, Mu Tianyang could have escaped. But his pride did not allow him to do so. Moreover, Mu Tianjuan's divine body was still in Tang Hai's hands. In other words, even if he wanted to escape, he had to take back Mu Tianjuan's divine body first. As the power of the false god and divine sense kept pouring in, the power of the two divine weapons became more and more terrifying. Mu Tianyang sneered, "You're just a false god. It's too difficult for you to recover the divine weapons. Even if you have 3 kinds of false god power, you can't defeat me. Give up. Your situation is worse than mine. Even if the quasi-divinity energy is exhausted, it can still recover in a short period of time. As for the divine sense you've consumed, if you want to recover, Qin Feiyang grinned. The meaning behind his words was obvious. He was not afraid of wasting time. Mu Tianyang's heart sank. This was exactly what he was thinking about. It was easy for him to recover his quasi-divinity energy, but it would take him a very long time to gather even a sliver of his spiritual perception. He couldn't afford to waste time, but now he had no other choice. If he didn't take back Mu Tianjun's divine body, he would definitely be killed by the Grand Tutor. In fact, he had never wanted to confront Qin Feiyang head-on, because Qin Feiyang also had a heaven-defying divine artifact. If they really fought, it would definitely be a situation where both sides would suffer.